What if the monsters our ancestors warned us about were actually real? Forget swamp gas and misidentified bears. We're talking about 10-foot-tall armored beasts with a second roaring mouth in their stomachs, flying ape bats with 10-foot wingspans screaming their own names in the dark, and island-sized sea demons pulling massive ships into the abyss. Are these creatures actual relics of an ancient world, something far more sinister, or just complete lies passed down through generations? Let's dive right in. 1. The Mapinguari, the Amazon jungle. Deep in the heart of the Amazon rainforest lives a creature so bizarre, it sounds like a bad movie villain. The Mapinguari is a 10-foot-tall, bipedal red giant with backward-facing feet and skin made of natural armor. According to tribal lore, arrows, spears, and modern rifle rounds literally bounce off his chest like plastic BBs. But that is not even the weirdest part. The Mapinguari possesses a second, massive, roaring mouth located directly in the middle of his stomach. When he is angry, he peels back the fur on his belly and lets out a screech that can deafen a hunter, accompanied by a rotting, sulfurous stench so violent it instantly knocks people unconscious. He spends his days tearing down massive hardwood trees with his bare claws just to show the jungle who is boss. 2. The Chupacabra, Latin America. First sighted in Puerto Rico in the 1990s, the original Chupacabra is a masterpiece of modern terror. Forget the boring, scruffy dog sightings from Texas. The real Chupacabra is a 3-foot-tall bipedal reptile with leathery greenish-gray skin, glowing red eyes, and a row of sharp, vibrating spikes running down its spine. True to its name, which translates to goat sucker, this creature has a highly specific diet. It creeps into farms at night, bypasses security, and drains livestock completely dry of blood through tiny, surgical puncture wounds. It's basically a sci-fi alien vampire that decided to skip the spooky castles and go on a tropical, farm-hopping vacation. 3. Bigfoot, North America. We have to talk about the undisputed heavyweight champion of hide-and-seek. Roaming the deep, dense forests of North America, Bigfoot is a 9-foot-tall, ape-like hermit covered in matted brown fur. His lifestyle is legendary. He has spent decades walking through the woods, masterfully dodging high-definition cameras, throwing giant rocks at camper vans, and emitting a smell that witnesses describe as a mix of rotting garbage and wet dog. Bigfoot doesn't want to conquer the world. He doesn't want to destroy cities. He just wants to walk around the Pacific Northwest in peace, ignore human civilization, and completely avoid paying taxes. Honestly, we have to respect the hustle. 4. The Yeti, the Himalayas. If Bigfoot is the king of the forest, the Yeti is his angry, frost-bitten cousin who hates tourists. Roaming the freezing, razor-sharp peaks of the Himalayas, this white-furred behemoth is deeply respected and feared by the local Sherpa people. The Yeti doesn't just hide, he actively defends his turf. According to local lore, he is incredibly aggressive, known to throw boulders down mountainsides to trigger avalanches on nosy climbers, raid remote camps, and leave massive, terrifying footprints in pristine snow just to mess with us. He is the ultimate mountain gatekeeper, proving that if you climb a freezing mountain where humans aren't supposed to live, you might just get thrown off a cliff by a giant, angry snow ape. 5. The Ahool, Indonesia. Heading over to the volcanic rainforests of Java, Indonesia, we find the undisputed king of the night sky, the Ahool. This is not a cute little cave bat. The Ahool is a flying nightmare with a wingspan stretching a massive 10 feet across. It has the flat, uncanny face of a chimpanzee, massive glowing blood-red eyes, dark gray fur, and claws on its wings that can snatch large fish directly out of rushing rivers. It gets its name because it doesn't fly silently. It glides through the dark canopy, screaming its own name over and over again in a booming, echoing voice. Imagine walking through a pitch-black jungle at midnight and hearing a giant narcissistic ape bat yell its own name before it swoops down at your head. 6. The Loch Ness Monster, Scotland. Nestled in the cold, murky, and incredibly deep waters of the Scottish Highlands is the undisputed queen of lake cryptids, Nessie, the Loch Ness Monster. For nearly a century, locals and tourists alike have stared out over the dark waters of Loch Ness, hoping to catch a glimpse of a giant, long-necked, hump-backed beast resembling a prehistoric plesiosaur. Nessie has mastered the art of the tease. She occasionally pops up just long enough to ruin a tourist's camera focus, leaves a giant V-shaped wake in the water, and then dives back down into the pitch-black depths of a lake that is deeper than the North Sea. Despite countless sonar sweeps and high-tech search parties, Nessie remains completely undetected, single-handedly funding the local tourism economy while laughing at us from the bottom of the lake. 7. Mokele-mbembe, the Congo. Deep in the uncharted, muddy swamps of the Congo Basin lives a creature that decided the asteroid 66 million years ago was merely a suggestion. Mokele-mbembe is described as a living, breathing, swamp-dwelling sauropod dinosaur. It is the size of an elephant, with a thick, heavy tail, a long, snake-like neck, and a small, reptilian head. The locals warn that Mokele-mbembe is fiercely territorial. If a canoe enters its river channel, it will rise from the muddy water, flip the boat, and crush the passengers to death. It also has a bizarre, burning hatred for hippos. It will actively hunt them down and stomp them into the mud, despite being a strict vegetarian. It doesn't even want to eat them, it just hates them on principle. 8. The Mothman, West Virginia, United States. In the dark woods of Point Pleasant, West Virginia, lies the home of America's most dramatic resident, the Mothman. First sighted in the mid-1960s, this entity is described as a 7-foot-tall, headless humanoid with massive, 10-foot wings folded against his back, and giant glowing red headlights embedded directly into his chest. He can fly at highway speeds without even flapping his wings, screeching like a malfunctioning metal saw. The locals didn't just fear him, they realized he was a messenger. Mothman only seems to appear before a massive disaster strikes, acting like a giant, winged, glowing-eyed warning label. Today, people still visit the town to see his literal bronze statue, complete with surprisingly toned glutes, hoping they don't see the real thing flying overhead, because if Mothman shows up, you know things are about to go horribly wrong. 9. The Bunyip, Australia. Deep in the murky billabongs, swamps, and creeks of the Australian outback hides the Bunyip, a creature of pure, localized terror. For generations, Aboriginal legends have warned of this aquatic shifting nightmare, describing it as a terrifying hybrid of a dog, a seal, a walrus, and a horse. The Bunyip is the ultimate swamp bully. It lurks just beneath the stagnant, muddy water, waiting for unsuspecting travelers or livestock to get too close to the edge. When night falls, it lets out blood-curdling, booming shrieks that echo across the lonely plains. Even today, those who camp near the remote waterways of Australia swear they hear those same haunting cries rising from the dark water, a chilling reminder that some swamps are best left completely alone. 10. The Kraken, the North Sea. Finally, we plunge into the icy depths of the North Sea to meet the ultimate ocean terror, the Kraken. This is an island-sized sea monster with massive, writhing tentacles lined with sharp, rotating hooks and eyes the size of dinner plates. According to ancient sailor logs, the Kraken didn't just swim, it actively hunted wooden ships. It would circle a vessel, creating a massive, swirling whirlpool that trapped the crew. Then it would wrap its colossal tentacles around the mast, snapping the ship in half like a toothpick and dragging the entire crew down to the black abyss. It is the ultimate reminder that the ocean is a terrifying, lawless void, and we probably should have stayed on land. Maybe our ancestors weren't just making up scary stories to keep us in bed. Maybe some of these nightmares are still out there, waiting in the dark corners of the map. So if you ever hear a strange, heavy footstep in the woods or see a massive shadow glide beneath the water, keep your eyes open. And if you actually find one, let us know in the comments before you run for your life. Now hit that like and subscribe button, and I'll see you on the next one.